hold on. So this is Danny and this is Amy and they're coming together and they're about to do a quick step and then this happens and you're telling me that that doesn't deserve to be in the dance off? Are you mad? Hey guys, it's your girl Ayesha, and today I am dishing up your Strictly Slice and I am not impressed. I'm sorry, but come on, man. Come on. How did Danny escape that dance off? It's just beyond me. It's actually beyond me. Now, you guys already know that I'm usually a big fan of Danny because I know that the man can dance. However, that was just... He should have been there. He should have been there. And he knows he should have been there as well. That was a very, very narrow escape. But for some reason, the British public once again put Charles and Karen in the dance off. I'm not happy. Not happy about it. They did not deserve to be there. But let me just calm down because that's not usually how I start this video. So if you guys are new to my channel, hello and welcome. If you are a Strictly viewer, then chances are you probably like to give your own scores whilst you're at home and you like to have a little bit of a chinwag about who was the best and who was the worst, etc, etc, etc. I like to do that as well right here on my channel. So yeah, if you like that sort of thing, then consider sticking around. Usually I don't have time to talk about everybody because we'll just be here for ages, but I do like to pick out my favourites, my least favourite, which I'm pretty sure by now you already know who it is. And I do like to talk about who I think is the best dressed. And of course, as usual, I like to invite you to join in the conversation below. Please let me know who you thought was the best, the worst, and the best dressed. Okay, so my first favourite that I want to talk about is gonna be Team Grody. Yes, you guys know I love me some Team Grody, okay? And I am so glad that Graham and Oti managed to pick it up from last week because we all know that that Thriller dance was a little bit of a disaster, darling. But this waltz was just... it was just like heart-meltingly beautiful. Like I had a tear in my eye and then he started crying at the end of it as well. It was just so stunning and it was just simple and beautiful and they just glided along the room and it was just this magical scene and everything about it was just pure and utter class. They looked stunning together and you could tell that the dance really meant something to him. You could tell he was really trying as well because he was like proper concentrating in his face. I was just such a big fan of it and yeah, I just, the whole time I just had my hand on my heart just like, oh, they're just adorable. So gorgeous. If you're into the waltzes, if you're into the kind of slow, mushy romantic dances, make sure that you do go online and check out their dance again because it was just so damn good. I absolutely loved it. Judges' scores for that were 6, 7, 8, 8. I personally gave it an 8 because it just stirred something up within me and I was just all fluffy and fuzzy inside after that. I loved it. My second favourite, I'm going to have to give it to Stacey and Kevin. Now, I'm telling you something. This girl, she's a bit of a dark horse. She is not a dancer, okay? Well, she is now, but she wasn't a dancer before. She didn't have dance experience before, from what I know anyway. And she is just coming up roses at the moment. She's improving so much every week. I think from seeing her do her samba, that's when I really started to like pay attention to her. And then her tango last week was just immense. And then this street dance, I wasn't actually sure that I was going to like it because when I saw that they were going to be doing it to Empire State of Mind, I was like, well, that's a bit slow. I want to see something a bit more punchy when it comes to street dance. But they did that, like they brought it. So many different styles were just mixed up in there. It was just absolutely fantastic. Really, really well thought out. Every single nuance in the song had a move and I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of like proper musicality and every single beat was catered for and I just thought it was absolutely fabulous. I gave it a 9. The judges gave it 9s, 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 9s all across the board. Craig looked like he was actually about to cry. He literally was just like everything about that I loved. And then he just looked like he was about to burst into tears. Honestly, like, you couldn't fault it. It was just absolutely fantastic. Okay, now we come to my top favourite of the night. I have got to give it to Ashley and Pasha. Oh my God. That Foxtrot was just, in my eyes, divine, faultless, smooth, classy. Everything about it just made me smile, and I've watched it back so many times. It is literally, it's the one dance that I've just watched over and over and over again, and I absolutely love that song as well. I'd actually not heard it before, but I kept listening to it and just thinking, I'm really, really loving how it sounds. Who is it? Realised it's a Nat King Cole song, but they were singing the Natalie Cole version. So anything by Nat King Cole or Natalie Cole, I'm quite a big fan of. So I'm actually ashamed of myself for not knowing that song before. However, I now know it completely. They looked amazing together, and I just thought that it was just everything that a Foxtrot should be. I've been reading some of people's comments on the YouTube videos of all the dances, and people are actually quite surprised that she's doing very well in the ballroom department, because yes, we know she's a dancer, but she didn't do ballroom before, so this is something that's completely new for her, and she is really, really excelling. For me, it was a 10. The judges gave it 9, 10, 10, 10. Totally deserved it. Top of the leaderboard. Of course they were, because that was just pretty much a perfect dance in my eyes. So now let's talk about my least favourite dance of the evening. Danny and Amy. What was that? The thing is that I do feel sorry for him, because he is a professional dancer, and we all know that, and he works very, very hard. We can all see that every week. He's bringing it every week, right? But like, there is pretty much no way to recover if you start on the wrong foot in a quick step. And as Darcy said, it is very, very obvious when you do that, unless you sort of break out of hold and then get back into hold, and then you can kind of sort of rectify it there. But like, he wasn't really rectifying those mistakes. I don't know whether it was a nerves thing. I don't know whether it was just a mistake. I have no idea. But you could see that, you know, Amy was really like disappointed for him, and he was disappointed for her. So I feel bad for him, but they still should have been in the dance off though. Like, it wasn't right for Charles to be there and them not to be. Another thing, I really didn't like the song. I'd never heard it before. I thought it sounded awful, and it just didn't go with the style of the dance, and that is a big pet peeve of mine. Songs that don't go with the style of the dance. For example, Ranj and Jeanette's Samba to Freedom 90. Why are we doing a samba to Freedom? I don't get it. I don't get it. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love that song. Love, love, love that song, but not for a samba. Thing is, samba's a little bit close to my heart, because I used to be a samba drummer for like 3 years, right? So I love like traditional samba music. And I don't know why Strictly don't do more traditional Latin music. Like, why are you not doing this? But that being said, you know, he gave it his best, bless him. And I was very sad to see him go. I really was. It probably was his time, but I was sad to see him go, because he does literally just like light up the room whenever he walks in there. Now it's time for my honourable mentions. I have got to talk about Kate and Ayesha. Now, I don't understand what Craig was watching, because clearly we were watching a very different dance. Now, I may not know all the little technicalities of the Argentine tango. However, what I did see was a really, really good effort and some serious leg action. And I loved those lifts where she looked like she was like running in the air, and like her legs were just so perfect, in my opinion. Like, she looked great, and she gives great tango face. And let's not forget the fact that she had an injury as well. Like, she injured herself in her ribs the day before. She had like no recovery time, and she still came out there and she killed it. What are you doing giving out 4s? Honestly, I gave it an 8. Yeah, fair enough, you may say it was overmarked, but I don't care. I thought it was so good. In fact, I was almost breathless, like whilst I was watching it, you know, because I loved the very sort of slow pace of it at the beginning, and then it suddenly changed. Like, oh man, I just loved it. It was wicked. I also want to shout out Charles and Karen, because despite what the British public may think, putting you in the dance off because you did not deserve to be there, despite that, I thought that they did a stunning job. I think that I was just so moved by the romantic dances this week. I don't know why, but like they all just made me feel so happy and so fuzzy, and I just thought that they just looked absolutely beautiful as they were dancing. I had a moment where I'd written something down in my notes, and then Shirley said the same thing, and I was like, yes, I am totally qualified to be a judge. Not really, but you know what I mean. I'd written down that I thought that he could do with a bit more gliding across the floor, and then she said the exact same thing, and I was like, But apart from that, oh my goodness, I enjoyed it so much. The thing with Charles is, because he's an actor and a very good one, he can really sell every performance. Like every performance that he's ever done, he's put his full like character into it. Like it's almost like he's characterized every single dance, and they're all these different characters that he's playing, and it really shows on his face. And he's very good at playing like the old romantic, like, oh, I don't know, I just totally bought it. I believed it. They could have been a couple, and I wouldn't have been any the wiser. I'd have been like, yeah, they're together. I believe that. One more mention for me. I do want to big up Faye and Giovanni. I loved their tango. However, I do agree with Craig. Now, I liked the cube. I thought the cube actually did look quite cool, but I liked what he said about how if you're going to use the cube, then use the cube, innit? Like, you should kind of like play to the sort of confinement of the cube and then break free from it. I would have actually really liked to have seen that happen, but I was very impressed with how small the space actually was. I mean, it looked like a massive cube, but when you were looking at it from a different angle, it's like, well, actually that's actually a pretty small space to be able to do all those moves in. And so for them to be able to keep it so confined and so neat, I thought that looked really good. Again, she gives fantastic tango face. I do wish I was able to see her legs a bit more though. I think that the skirt kind of obscured that a little bit. I don't know, I like a good tango leg in it, so I wanted to see some leg action. But yeah, I thought that she was fabulous as always. Like Faye is always just like ranking high, but yeah, like I think we could definitely see her in the final, definitely. Now we come to the best dressed, and I think I'm gonna have to give it to Ashley and Pasha. I've been trying to like decide throughout this whole video who I'm giving it to. It's gonna have to be Ashley and Pasha, because I love purple and I love pink, and just seeing those two colours together, it just made me so happy. I thought that it went perfectly with the set. It was bright, it was springy, summery, it was just so happy. Like I smiled the whole way through that routine, not just because of how amazing that the routine was, but also the way that they looked, the way that their outfits complemented each other. I just thought that they just looked absolutely beautiful. If you haven't already seen it, then go back online and check it out, because it was just so damn good. Another thing that I urge you to go back and watch again, or to go back and watch for the first time if you haven't already seen it, is the pro dance for the results show, the Aretha Franklin dance. Oh my goodness, Oti smashed it. She was like the leader of this dance, and she absolutely smashed it. But like they all did. It was fantastic. It was so bright, so colourful. I felt like I was watching a West End production. Now that could have been on the West End or Broadway, whatever. It could have been on a big hefty stage, and I would have been so happy. Like I was beaming the whole way through that. I've actually watched that back a few times as well. I was really pleased that they brought in like a different choir to come along and sing that. Man, I was so happy, because I love me some Aretha, and yeah, I was fully impressed by that. So there you have it, guys. That is your Strictly Sliced for this week. Yes, I know that I left out a couple of people, but as I said, I don't have time to talk about everybody, okay, because I have things to do. However, if you feel that, you know, I've missed people out and you want to talk about them, that is for you guys to come and chat about it in the comment section down below. Let's all connect. Let's all discuss Who was your favourite? Who was your least favourite? Who was the best dressed in your opinion? I always want to know your views. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give it a big fat thumbs up. And of course, if you love my content, then don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss another video. Take care, guys, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.